I'm Stephen Duckett, Director of the Health and Aged Care Program at the Grattan Institute here in Melbourne. I'm speaking to you from the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri people, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I've been asked to talk today about what went wrong with Australia's vaccine rollout, or probably stroll out is the more accurate term. And I'd like to do that by focusing on one picture, which I think illustrates many of the problems. And so basically I'll start by saying that we've actually done quite a few reports. We've done 3 reports on COVID, including how to get out of the current situation. This is the picture. This was a picture of the Prime Minister receiving a Pfizer vaccination on the 21st of February 2021, the day before the Australian rollout started. On that day, about 55 million people in the United States had already been vaccinated. So Australia was very slow at getting into starting its vaccine rollout. Now, I didn't think that was a problem at the time because I thought it would all go smoothly. Well, it didn't. And this picture tells us to some extent why it didn't go well. And I'd start with the mask. Masks are good, of course. This is an Australian mask, and it illustrates that this was a national program. The Commonwealth said, we are going to be leading this vaccination rollout. We're going to exclude the states. What did that mean? It meant we had no vaccine hubs. If you're going to have a mass vaccination program, you've got to have mass vaccination centres. It wanted to distribute the vaccine through Commonwealth channels, essentially GPs, and I'll come back to that. It also illustrates about the issue of vaccine purchases. We prioritised purchases of vaccines that could be made in Australia or developed in Australia. Initially, we had 4 vaccine purchases, the University of Queensland vaccine that fell over, AstraZeneca, which had all sorts of problems I'll come to, both of which could be made by CSL, and only a very small supply of Pfizer and Novavax were in our initial mix. That, when the UQ and AstraZeneca fell over, caused huge problems, and right now, still, demand for vaccinations exceeds supply. So the whole supply chain problem stemmed from those decisions back in the middle of last year about having a narrow range of vaccine choices. Because it was a Commonwealth rollout, there were no feet on the ground, which led to immense logistics problems, which we are still seeing. Second point about this picture is it's the Prime Minister, the second person in Australia to be vaccinated. He is also, at that time, the 21st of February, not eligible to be vaccinated. He was not in priority group 1A or 1B. So what we see is the very start of the vaccination program, the priority groups that the government itself had established were not being implemented. As a result, only 60% of aged care workers are vaccinated today. They were in group 1A. And so the failure to follow the priority ordering has exposed older people and Indigenous people to COVID when, according to all of the programs, they should have been vaccinated back then. Prime Minister is being vaccinated with Pfizer. And later on, a couple of months later, the Health Minister said, oh, you needn't, if you're an older person eligible for AstraZeneca, you needn't get AstraZeneca. You can wait and get Pfizer. The AstraZeneca was going to be the mainstay of the program, of the vaccination program. It was widely available. Poor announcement decisions about risks of AstraZeneca led to people not wanting to take AstraZeneca and confusion about who was eligible, and the vaccine, AstraZeneca, got a bad reputation. People didn't have it. Vaccine slows down. I might add, I've had my first AstraZeneca dose and I'm planning to have my second one when I'm eligible. So we had this whole right throughout the program. It's not a race. Don't worry. Wait for whatever vaccine you want with the problems we've got today. So we're one of the worst programs countries in terms of vaccine rollout. What's to be done? Well, hopefully the new doses are going to arrive. The Commonwealth has said we're going to have a whole lot of new doses coming on stream. The supply problems should be fixed. And if the supply problems are fixed, we can get 80% of the population, 80% of the whole population vaccinated by early next year, when we can lift our border restrictions and get out of lockdowns forever.